This time of year, the snow could fly at any time, which means a lot of us are going to be picking up our shovels to take care of our driveways, sidewalks, anything else we might have to clear. And you might want to stretch after to make sure you don't get any aches and pains. Our friends at the Forum Lab in Portland are here to show us how to do that. So, you know, we get the most out of shoveling, and then we stretch afterwards.
Certainly.
Andrew, where do we want to start?
There's quite a few spots that we want to really stretch out after we shovel because it's vigorous work. So making sure that after we put in the work to avoid any aches and pains in case we maybe did a couple scoops a little funky, it's always a good idea to stretch after any kind of physical activity, and shoveling is definitely one of those. The big things that we're going to talk about for stretching here are going to be mostly on the posterior side and then our arms as well, because we are squeezing the shovel, we are moving our arms. So a couple of the big ones. We'll start with the arms here. So we use a lot of bicep in pull motions, and shoveling is a pull motion. So to get length down the bicep, to get length down the forearms from squeezing, one of my favorites to do is to find like a tabletop, or you could even just kneel on the ground and do this, but we have access to the bench here, so I'm gonna show you right here on the bench. So I'm gonna have you start out by putting the hands down, and then we're gonna rotate palms facing away from us, okay? Ease into it by dropping those palms flush with the bench. You're gonna start to feel that stretch down the forearm, maybe up into the bicep, but to really get up into the bicep, all we're gonna do is just nice and slow and controlled. We're just gonna lean back until you feel like your palm wants to lift off that bench, and then that's the end range of that motion.
So you're gonna really lift off.
No, we're gonna keep that palm nice and flush there, and just hold that tension back. You should be feeling right down that forearm, a little bit up into that bicep, and you're just gonna hold for about 20-30 seconds. You can relax. I would definitely run through this 2 or 3 times just to really get the length through the muscle, because when we work muscle, it tightens right up. So this is taking that tense muscle that won't want to move properly, and it's giving it length again. So the muscle fibers are lengthening back out with that stretch, making them functional again. So that's for the arms. The rest of it's going to be the back side of the body. There's a lot of work through the lats when you're doing your shoveling. So we're going to stretch out the lats. There's also a lot of work through your hamstrings and your glutes from that hinge over to get into the snow, and that stand by driving and contracting the muscles out back there. So the next one's going to be for our hamstrings. So again, we have access to this bench, but if you want to do it on your couch at home or anything that's slightly elevated, what you're going to do is you're going to place one foot up on the bench or the prop, and then the opposite foot, we're just going to hop right back just slightly. From here, you're gonna try and push your knee and your hip straight behind you without moving anything else. So the knee and the hip are gonna start to come back, come back, come back. Once you feel that stretch start to happen in the hamstring, from there, you're gonna keep the rest of the body stable, and you're gonna bring your chest down into that lead knee. And bringing that chest down and adding a little bit deeper of a hinge is really gonna lengthen out that muscle. So you're gonna feel that all along the back side of that hamstring.
And do you wanna do this slowly?
Yeah, any kind of stretching after you've done that activity, you wanna move through at a pretty slow pace just to feel like your range is increasing. So nice and slow and controlled, and again with this one, you'd hold it for about 20-30 seconds, come up out of it, switch up your sides, and then you can run through that about 2 or 3 times.
What else do we got?
We've got glutes next. So we got the hamstrings. Next, we're gonna tie it into the glute. So I like to do this, you can do it freestanding, but I like to do it supported so we can get a little bit deeper into the stretch.
I appreciate that.
And so you don't fall. So if we're targeting the right glute here, I'm gonna bring my right leg, my right ankle, right above my left knee. So hang on for support. Once you've crossed that leg over, we're gonna act like we're sitting into a chair. We're gonna try and get our hips as low as we're comfortable getting. So as we start to descend towards the floor, you're gonna start to lengthen out and feel that stretch right on that bent leg. So right now, we're targeting the right glute, so that right knee that's bent, you're gonna feel that right up the middle of that glute. And again, you just hold until you're comfortable. And as you're going through this and breathing, you can always try and just sit a little bit further into your stretch.
You're making me look bad.
Once you get a little bit of that tension out, and again, same thing here, you grab the wall with the other side, switch up those legs, and do the same thing on that opposite side. So that's for the glutes, and then finally your lats. This is probably one of the more important ones, and honestly, it's a stretch that feels really good. So what I do, we have access to the rack, but viewers at home, grab a wall, grab a door frame, anything that you can really hang on to. So I'm gonna have you grab the rack here.
Yeah.
If we're stretching out that right side, or we can do it left side here so the camera can really see. We're gonna go to full extension with the arm, and then we're thinking about the hips. So I'm just pushing the hips back, letting my chest fall to keep my back nice and flat here in the lower end. Once we start to feel that stretch creep up the lat, because we're lengthening out this muscle here, then I'm gonna have you just really try and pull against that wall or that rack until you get length. Another thing we can do is we can take that right side and we can rotate it underneath that lead arm that we're stretching, just to really change the angle and get the full length in that muscle. And then again, we'd hold for about 20-30 seconds, rotate back in, pull yourselves up, and then you'd switch up those sides.
Okay, so slowed, controlled stretches.
Slow and controlled is the way to go, yep.
Because we know we're going to get plenty of snow.
Yes.
Here in Maine. So, all right, if you want to try these tips for yourself, you can find them right on the 207 section of our website. Thanks again so much for
Thank you.
helping us out here. Stay with us. 207 is back right after this.